The two companies announced the preliminary plans for a deal 6 weeks ago. This new company will be the world's fourth biggest automaker between Volkswagen, Toyota, and Nissan Renault. Fiat Chrysler shares down on the news, about 1% here in the pre-market. Jackie?
Yeah, and investors will be watching those stocks and the rest of the markets because stocks posted modest gains yesterday, but that was enough to send the Dow Industrials, the S&P 500, and the NASDAQ deeper into record territory. The question, of course, is, will this bull run continue into 2020? Rebecca Walser Wealth Management CEO, joins us now. Rebecca, great to see you. Good morning.
Good morning, Jackie.
Let's get straight to it. Santa Claus rally seems to be on here.
Yeah, I'm really excited. I think we have a lot of wind at our backs with USMCA and phase one of China, so it's exciting time to be Christmas time, yes.
Okay, a big week last week, obviously in some ways for the Democrats, but for Donald Trump as well. USMCA, phase one China deal, potentially avoiding a government shutdown seems to be on track. So we're looking at millennials right now who still support socialism. When you look at a stock market like this, when you look at a booming U.S. economy, why is that? Why are these millennials different than young people of the past?
You know, Jackie, if you look at specifically the millennial generation, you've got two things that really stand out. Number one, they lived through the Great Recession, which was massively huge, and it was a very huge economic impact to somebody at a very young, impressionable age. And the second thing you have is these endless wars. And so they see that the government is just perpetually in nation building, and they think something doesn't seem right here. So those two factors, I think, really have an impact on how they believe the government and economics should interact in their generation. And, you know, we've heard that time-tested saying, you can give somebody a fish or you can teach somebody to fish. And unfortunately, socialism is sort of under the delusion that there are plenty of fish, whereas capitalism recognizes the facts of economics, which there's scarcity of fish, and therefore we must all incentivize ourselves to get the fish.
And Fox News polls actually show while the popularity of socialism is rising a little bit, capitalism is still favored. It's still winning out, which is really interesting.
Well, it's not hard to see that there's plenty of economics history. There is not one example of communism, socialism, Marxism that has actually succeeded over the history of the world. You can look at China and say that that's an example. It's not, because that is a quasi-communist capitalist society. So they have to inject capitalism to make their communism not fail. Otherwise, it would be the USSR all over again, or it would be Venezuela in our day and today. It's a perfect example. Cuba and Venezuela are a perfect example of why socialism is a failure today.
Rebecca, real quick, because we're running out of time, but I just want to get to FedEx, its earnings guidance, having a problem when it reported yesterday second quarter results. Amazon saying it will not use FedEx Ground for Prime shipments going into the holiday season because it's not reliable. So FedEx really struggling here.
Yeah, you know, FedEx had a lot of costs, Jackie. This is a high quarter of cost. Tooling up to handle these one-day deliveries, they're very expensive. Global shipments being down. And so now Amazon as a rival for shipments is not bode well for FedEx, and that's what we're seeing in this quarter's results and for the 2020 forecast. So FedEx is very innovative, and they will innovate beyond this, but right now it's a little bit of a pain.
Rebecca, great to see you. Thank you.
Thank you, Jackie.